Welcome to the crypt. That was fucking cringe, wasn't it? Have you ever wanted a superpower? Flight, invincibility, invisibility, reading minds. Me personally, I'd want to be able to see more than 2 inches in front of my face, but here we are. We're talking about Brightburn, which is that evil Superman movie that everyone seems to have just forgotten about, and I can understand why. Brightburn was produced by James Gunn, who did stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy, Unalive Squad. I'm not getting picked up by YouTube. Uh, God, what else has he done? He did a thing called James Gunn's PG Porn. Do with that what you will. It was written by his cousin and his brother, and I don't know what happened. I feel like people watched it and went, "Oh yeah, that was alright," and then just kind of forgot it existed. So you got Joseph Dunn, who plays the little kid called Brandon, who has the superpowers or whatever. Uh, he was in other stuff. His most famous role was White Boy 2 and Glow. You've also got Elizabeth Banks, who I actually know because I used to watch Scrubs ages ago. She played Kim. Uh, and you've got the guy who plays the dad, and he was in stuff. Also, a kind of cool little side note before I properly get into this, there was a contest to win $2,000, and it was to do a load of like fan art for the movie, and whoever won got the $2,000, and it was used for marketing. I thought that was kind of cool, and the actual art looks better than the art that they went with for the film. So the movie starts with the two parents trying to, how do I put this without getting like instant blocked? They're trying to have a cum. They're trying to make a kid, okay? And then it starts having an earthquake, and a comet comes down, and they're like, "What was that?" So they go out to the forest and find a baby in the comet, and the only rational thing they can do is take it in and raise it as their own. Which, me personally, I would not do that. What? I don't know. So they cut to when he's a little bit older. He's like 11, 12, I think, if I remember right. They're playing this little whistle game that comes back later on in the movie, but it's whatever. Most of this film is like there's no character development really, apart from the parents, I guess. Even the kid, like the main driving force of the movie, has no development. It's just like I'm a little kid, I shit myself. Anyway, now I'm evil. Cool. That's basically it. So I can understand why this movie got forgotten. We cut to them doing the whistle game thing. They find him in the barn. Apparently, he's not allowed in the barn. We won't find out until later. It's not really a shock. Like, this movie's very predictable. So then we cut to him in school, and the teacher asks him a question, and he goes on about a wasp or something. I don't know why he decided to carry on with this. This little girl in front of him's like,
Don't worry. Smart guys end up calling the planet.
which is not true because fucking Andrew Tate exists. Don't come after me with your war cult, you bald cunt. So then we cut to after school. He's at home. His mum's doing the worst art I have ever seen. If stuff on DeviantArt looks better, Jesus Christ. But then Brendan's having a seizure upstairs, and he just jumps out of his window and starts hearing these voices. Obviously coming from the comet that he came on. Comet, we know what it is. He ends up going into the barn, and we learn that there's something underneath the barn that the parents are trying to hide. And it's pretty obvious what it is. It's the comet that he came in on. Let's not be stupid. This movie's very predictable with its plot to a shocking degree. Then it cuts to him at his birthday party, and we see the guy who plays Badger from Breaking Bad, and that made me really happy. I don't know why it did. I think it's maybe because I watched Breaking Bad earlier this year, so I was just like, it's him! It's the funny man that's shit at doing drugs. But anyway, he says, "I hear you're killing it in school," and then gives him a gun for his birthday. I don't know, maybe that's commentary. It's really bad commentary if it is. But it's also like, yes, we understand. Schools are also target ranges for Americans. Okay. So things are slowly starting to build now, I guess. Like, we're building up to where his powers are revealed, kind of. Uh, what happens then is, I've got this in my notes, actually. Boy, it's fork. I need to spell check my stuff. Jesus Christ. He eats a fork. I don't know. He just falls in a trance and eats the fork. Meanwhile, his mum goes upstairs to put some clothes in his room or something and finds these drawings on his bed. And you realise that Brendan is only 12 and he can draw far better than his mum. His dad walks in and they have this whole conversation of like, is this what boys draw when they're going through puberty? And it's like, are you stupid? Like, have you existed on Earth long enough to have a kid? Because you know this stuff is not normal. He's like drawing weird, like, scrawls, like serial killer level stuff. And she's just like, is this what you boys have a tug to? I don't know. And it's like, use your brain. So, later on, because this has to cut up a scene, doesn't it? They have the dad, like, take him on a fishing trip, I think. Not fishing or hunting. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry. You go on a fishing trip, let's just say that. And he has the talk with him where he's like, hey kid, did you know that sometimes you can have a cum all by yourself? Sometimes people have cums together. Am I going to get banned for saying cum? I don't know. And then Brandon's instantly like, can I do it right now? And Dad's like, whoa, slow down. Don't be fucking having a wank in front of me, mate.
Like, now?
What?
Like, now?
No, not right now, no.
So by this point, Brandon's starting to learn his powers. He's got super speed or whatever, and he can take full damage, I guess. He's started to stalk the girl from school who said that smart guys rule the world, or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's already gone from my head. His parents start looking through these notes, and they see this logo that he's made. And it looks identical to the Berserk logo, bar like a few things. But it's meant to mean his first and last name, but it just looks like they copied the Berserk logo. And it really bothered me throughout the movie. I don't know why. It's partially because I love Berserk, but also I'm like, it's so obvious that that looks like the Berserk logo. It's annoying. It really is. And his art is terrible, but in a, like, evil way, not a his mum can't paint kind of way. His dad keeps calling him buddy and it's getting on my nerves. I really hate it. It annoys me so much when people do that. Like, it's like, hey buddy, hey guy, it's okay. I'm like, shut up. You don't need to do this. It's annoying. If you're still calling your kid buddy when they're like 12 or 13, like, oh my god. I don't know why it bothered me so much, but it was really frustrating. And then to add to the stupidity, later on, they're like, hearing a load of stuff because Brendan's looking at the chickens and they're all freaking out. And then, like, I guess a couple minutes later, all the chickens are dead at night. And there's this massive noise, massive commotion. His dad comes out and is like, oh my god, what's happened? All the chickens are dead. The gate's ripped off. And his mum goes, it was probably a wolf. Do you know any wolves that can pick fucking locks? Because I don't. So now Brandon's learned that he has super strength as well after he ripped off the door. It definitely wasn't a wolf, don't be stupid. He's at the track, they're doing this test, I guess trust test thing? Trustful, that's the word, trustful. It's that thing where you fall back and then everyone has to like grab you so you don't fall down. He gets to the girl and the girl lets him fall after calling him a pervert. And then the teacher's like, no, pick him up, don't be a dick, which rightfully so. She ends up doing it, he grabs her hand and bends it back, and in my sleep deprived notes, clickety clack, your hand bends back.
Brandon!
Go! Stop it!
Brandon, stop!
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
The kid's mum is a complete and utter Karen, like Queen of the Karens. Rightfully so, though, because her kid's hand's bent back, you know? Like, you can't expect her not to be upset. But, then we learn that their whole story was, like, Brandon is adopted. We definitely didn't find him in the woods, which is even more sus. So it's later, they're at home again. Brandon's having another one of those seizure-type things. And he starts to translate some of the words that he's hearing in his head that are coming from, like, the thing under the barn, which we're about to learn about.
Shigaro, louder, take.
He breaks open the bottom of the barn, but right as he does, his mum breaks him out of the trance, and he falls down. And there we learn that the incubator, I guess, that he came down on is basically kryptonite to him, and cuts him open after his dad did the very blatant foreshadowing of going, he's never had a cut or he's never gotten ill. I guess he's gonna get cut. And then he just looks at his hand like, oh, I got cut. And it's like, good fucking job. Like, you really nailed it, storytellers. No wonder why they probably haven't done another movie.
Well, duh.
Now things are finally starting to kick off. We see the first kill, and it's the Karen from earlier. We get the standard big budget horror thing, someone getting glass in their eye. It kind of made me cringe because I've got a dodgy eye, and so seeing someone pulling glass out of that eye, it just really bothered me. It never used to until I had this thing with my eye. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. It's standard, you know, like almost every Hollywood level horror movie has some kind of thing like that with pulling glass out of an eye for some reason. She gets scared, she locks herself in the freezer, and Brendan finally has laser eyes. He burns the door down, he breaks it open, he kills her, obviously, and then the next day they're like, your mum's turned into paste anyway. Here's the berserk sign again that you ripped off. So by this point we're concerned, or his parents are concerned. I couldn't give a toss about the kid. I really couldn't. There's no development there. He just becomes evil for the sake of the film. And we learn that the school counselor is also his aunt. That's not the fun bit. The fun bit is he turns up later, and at her house at like, it must be like 11 at night or something, after his dad and Badger from Breaking Bad have been drinking. They haven't showed up yet. She hears the sensor going off in her garden, and then she looks and there's nothing there. Then Brandon shows up at her front door and starts talking all this weird stuff like, God, what was it? It was along the lines of like, you shouldn't tell the police what I did. You shouldn't file a complaint because of what I did to her daughter. It's 11 at night or something, and she doesn't think to like, surely his aunt take him home being like, what are you doing outside? Or, I should call your parents to come pick you up because you shouldn't be out here by yourself at this time of night. No, she's just like, go home. Like, what are you doing? This is like a little kid. Are you serious? And so Brendan keeps like popping up inside a house, and then eventually Badger, I'm gonna keep calling him Badger, I don't even remember his name at this point. Badger comes home and finds Brendan in like a closet, I guess, like a walk-in closet, doing homework. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing here? You should be at home. And then you're like, finally someone with common sense. And then he takes him outside, he's like, get in the car, we're going home. And then Brandon just yeets him against the wall, and he shits himself and tries to drive off. And this is one of my favourite scenes, and I'm just gonna let it play out.
What the fuck? Oh, stop! Stop! Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! 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 God damn it! God! Fuck! Ah!
This is my favourite kill of the film, and also the gargling noises are disgusting, and I love that. It is so good. I'm not even gonna do anything. I'm just gonna play the gargling sound, and you can judge for yourself. And that's what good head sounds like. Anyway, so yeah, that is my favourite scene in the film straight away, and also is really disgusting the way his jaw just like pops out. You can watch it on YouTube, the clip's up there, but I don't want to get like any chance of my videos getting age restricted or anything, but it just pops out, and for some reason, like, people have said in the reviews that like the effects are really bad, but like that was really cool. Like, as someone who loves gore in films, that just like pop, it was jaw just like hanging there. It was really cool to see. I don't know why it stuck with me so much. And the sound effects there are like really disgusting in a good way. I genuinely love that scene. I think it's brilliant. We get another berserk sign, and for some reason in my notes I put creepy Pringles can. I don't know why I put that there, but that's there. Anyway, why did I put that there? So Brendan comes back home late at night, and his parents, being stupid as they are, Brendan was like, I went to school, I got bullied from playing football afterwards or whatever. They kicked me and tore my shirt. This is my shirt, I'm just going to go to bed, ignore this. And then they come in the room and go, he's obviously lying. It's like, fucking duh. These parents are smart and stupid at the same time. It's really frustrating. Also, I should mention, the mum has her paintings all over the house, and there's this really bad one, like probably the worst one in the film, where it's just a smiley face. It looks like a creepy pasta of the moon from Mighty Boosh. It's so bad. So by this point, the dad's had enough. He goes to find the shirt that Brandon's hiding to see what it's all about. He finds it behind a cabinet. He sees there's loads of blood over it. He goes to his wife and he's like, look at all this blood. There's blood all over this. It has to be him. He definitely did this. His wife. It can't be our son because he's 12. He could never do that. He came from space. What the fuck are you talking about? So now we come to the inevitable conclusion where his mum's like, oh, I know there's good in you. I still love you after all the evil you've done. And Brendan's like, I want to do good, Mum, I really do. After we've seen zero character development to show that. He's just been killing people for the sake of killing them. His mum tries to stab her with that kryptonite stuff off his incubator. I'm going to keep calling it that because it's not really a comet. And Brendan's smart. He notices that straight away. He's not stupid. His mum is really stupid. Just look at her art. He flies her up into space, and she's got loads of cuts on her face. I assume it's from like stuff in the atmosphere, I guess. But she has this. They both have this terrible effect where they look 3D, but they're not. And he just drops her, and then sees a plane flying in, and then it cuts to credits, and we're getting these newsreels for out of it because, of course, you would, where he's destroying buildings and all sorts, and like they're like, is it a plane? Is it a whatever? And they're like, Brendan's the only survivor of this family, of this crash, in like newsreels. And then we get a fun thing. We get Michael Rooker, who plays a really good conspiracy theorist, Alex Jones type, doing all these reels. And I'll just say this. Michael Rooker is going to show up, if not the next video, the video after, in what is one of the bleakest films I've ever seen. I'll keep that a secret until it comes, because it won't be ready for a while, but Michael Rooker is going to show up again. So what did I think? I think it's a good movie to turn your brain off and watch. I don't think it's a movie you should watch multiple times. Otherwise it's predictable already. You're just going to get bored, I think. I think it could have done with a sequel maybe, but I don't really think it needed it because there was not much there. Like, they basically just did baby falls down, people pick up baby becomes evil because character development isn't necessary. Like, there's no real plot to it apart from you know he's gonna be evil. Yeah, I'd say it's just one of those movies where you can switch your brain off and watch. I can see why it's sort of forgettable. I don't know the word. I'm rambling at this point, but I'd say watch it. It's a fine movie. It's not amazing. It's not doing anything unique. It has one cool kill in it, but again, like the whole thing of where it's like a horror movie with an evil Superman, it doesn't really play into the horror aspects that could have been there. It's just kind of like, hey, this is a kid from outer space. Anyway, let him kill people.